Okay, let's do this. We're back. See if we'll do anything. Alright, got a lot of work to do tonight before I head off. Song is by Elroy. I've been listening to this guy a lot. I love his music. So you'll probably be hearing it a lot tonight. His music slaps, in my humble opinion. Nice, we can all be animating. How's the volume? Is the volume alright? Too much? Too little? Thanks, Warren K. Thanks for joining me today. I haven't fixed my lag yet. We'll still see it happening tonight. I don't know, it's one of those lags as well, like I can still limp around and animate. It's not enough to inhibit me from animating, but it is enough to annoy the hell out of me. Yeah, dude, that is normal to want to get to the result fast. And you know, my advice would be that you do try and get to the result fast. Like, don't wait around. Don't put it off to a later date. If you've got an idea for an animation, you know, get it on paper. Because in my opinion, and I think I have the experience to back this opinion up, but like, ideas have expiry dates. Ideas have an expiry date. Always remember that. There will be a point in your future, like you could have an idea now that you think is the hottest idea ever. There will be a point in your future where you think that idea is lame. If you spend enough time like thinking about it, and immersed in it, if you spend enough time immersed in an idea, you will get tired of that idea, right? Now, we understand this because with media that we consume, we don't consume any type of media for the same lengths of time that we spend creating a piece of media. Like, any concept that you create, you're likely to spend like at least 10 times the amount of time as you would be if you were consuming that same thing, right? At least 10 times, probably more like 100 times. Even like a long-running television series, that's not as long as you would spend on your own project. It's kind of like the human mind is not designed to spend so much time on a single idea. So if you spend an unnecessary amount of time on one idea, it is likely to demoralize you. Yeah, so about the blue and the orange in this shot. Initially, I drew them on the same frame, on the same layer, and then I separated them out using one of my methods, which I will show the time lapse for that method later. Because, like, for me, in the drawing process, it's really important that the drawings, that I'm not stopping during the drawing process to like change layer and stuff. Like, I hate that. I hate changing layers. So I draw everything on the same layer initially, and then later on I go through a process of separating them onto different layers. messy it up a little bit, make it a bit more sketchy, and add this effects animation. I don't know. Give it a bit more. Where's the key? Which one? There we go. I'm marking the points in the timeline where the scene changes. Yeah, put me in the background, it's cool. I wanna, I wanna set the vibes, creative vibes. I think being relaxed is a good way to be creative as well. Good preconditions for it. So, yeah. On the other scenes, I've been doing other effects. Like I just did this shot where the birds are flying overhead. I'm not happy with the timing of the wings. I'm not happy with it at all. But it would take me too long to do it again, so it's gonna have to do it. It's gonna have to be final. I think it looks pretty, but the timing is really annoying me. Like, look at the wings. They're going way too fast. Anyway, some things you just gotta let go. So this is then from another angle. And you see here this slow wing flap is a lot more majestic, it's a lot more epic. And I'm wondering if it's worth it to in between it, or if that's just a waste of time. I think I will in between it, it won't even take me long. If we does this work? Break at midpoint? Dang, it's not working. Okay. Set it to loop. Okay, we're super zoomed in here, that's why it looks pixelated. Guys, if you're interested in learning animation in depth, we're running a spring sale right now on animatingguild.com. And if you know us, you know that this is a rare event, It's a rare event for there to be a spring sale on. So capitalize on the opportunity. See what takes your fancy on Animator Guild. Maybe you want to get yourself some reference footage. I recently demonstrated how the reference packs work. I think it's changing. It should change the way that you do your life drawing sessions. Change the way you do your animation practice. So it's worth checking out. And the courses, of course. Courses are making those 3 courses, getting started, mastering motion, turning pro. That was like a 5-year project for me, 5-year long life goal. I'm very proud to say that I achieved it. Making those courses, that was a huge thing for me. It took 5 years, and during those 5 years, I took my, what I learned in university, getting a degree in 2D animation, okay, and I was like, how can I help out my guys on the internet, on my chat, the people who visit my channel, the people who are looking to learn animation but don't necessarily have access to a university education, like a 3-year long, university education. In the UK, it costs like £9,000 per year just for tuition. That's before you think about bed and board and things like that. So it's expensive, And I was like, how can I distill what I learned in my degree into a digestible, entertaining somewhat, but really like a functional online course, complete with exercises, videos that guide you every step of the way, demonstrations for how they work, how the principles work. And those 3 courses, the trilogy, are the result of that 5-year long dream of mine to democratize animation education online. So yeah, and it's at a discount right now, spring sale. So check it out, see if it's for you. It might not be for you, but this is partly why I'm choosing to stream today, is because I want to get the word out there to people. Because every now and then, if I ever do one of these promotions, there's always people that like contact me the next week who are like, man, why didn't you let me know? Why didn't you tell me that there was a promotion on, that there was a deal going? I'm like, I tried to tell everyone, right? So that's why I'm doing this live stream right now. Let all the people know. Let your brothers and sisters know. Let your mom know. Aunties, uncles. Tell the neighborhood. Howard's putting on a spring sale. Wake up. Howard's putting on a spring sale. Okay, and while I was rambling about that, I in-betweened this bird, looking super majestic now. Okay, I'm going to put it onto ones. Do that just with these magic buttons down here. Set it to ones like that. Highlight them. Come up here. Cut them out as a brush. Now we got them as a brush. We do just click optimize. Alright. And now, actually we're not going to do it as a brush. Forget that. I'm just going to duplicate the frames. Put this back on, this low opacity draft version. And we'll move them into place. We'll do this. Change the scale a little bit. Hit A. Let's do it again. Hit A. Rinse and repeat. Maybe a little bit of offsetting will be coming up. I think they are a bit too uniform right now. They could be a bit more naturally scattered around. offset them kind of randomly, should be fine. Drag them around. And let's just see. Oh, why is it super fast? 12. Oh, right, yeah, I didn't put them back onto 2s. Dang, I should have done that before. Let's just make sure they're coming down all on 2s. Okay. I think these ones, which one's that? Must be at the end. Exposure, recompute exposure. There we go. That reverses that. Take off auto break instance. I like it when people say they've watched my vlogs, because those vlogs took a lot of, like, I put a lot of creativity into the vlogs, but it's not like, I don't know, I'm a bit too late to the vlog game. I'm not going to be Casey Neistat anytime soon. I think the era of Casey Neistat is over. That looks kind of wonky now. Am I fussing over these too much? No. Yeah, I'm fussing over them too much. Yeah. Just get it done. Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. It's my catchphrase now. Good enough, good enough. I think the formation is kind of lame. Where's that one? Oh, there he is. Yeah, I gotta move them around because they're way too They're not geese. They're phoenixes. Do another one. I'm just blinking the layers to identify where everything is, because it's easy to lose track. When you start duplicating everything. It's always fun offsetting layers. It looks like way more work than it actually is, and that's fun, satisfying. It's still too uniform. Oopsie. Yeah, looking more like it. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of mumbling. I hope it's not annoying. But I'm not in as much of a talkative mood right now. I'm in a get stuff done mood. Okay. Am I gonna add fire to the phoenixes? I want to, but I feel like I'm out of time. Yeah, ideally I'd go hard with the fire, but I'm not sure if I can. I just need to, this is like my last or my second last day working on it, because I need to move on to the next project. Yeah, like my new goal is to get good at just speed animating. I'm going completely the opposite direction from my short film, which took me way too long, as you know. I really perfected it as much as I could. But 80-20, man. 80-20 principle. Pomodoro, or whatever his name was. You know, a small amount of the work will get you most of the way there. And then that last bit of fiddling, if you can cut it out, maybe you should, unless you really need to make it like a Sakuga reel for some reason. But like, this isn't Sakuga that I'm doing here, this is storytelling. I'm trying to tell a story. That first one's way too big. Yep. It's fine. It's fine. So the glow is just a color glow beneath. It's not a glow actually. It's just I painted in with a soft brush, and I can just put it on like a 4-frame loop, and the natural, the fact that I can't replicate the pressure perfectly on each frame gives it this kind of pulsating, shimmering feel, which can be quite nice. I don't know, it's an imperfection, it's a human error that actually has some charm to it, so you don't want to perfect it too much. And then the line art on top is set to add, so it's on a blending mode, which means that any of the fall off of that glow beneath them, of that soft brush beneath them, creates a nice it creates a nice variation in the brightness of the line. So it's just like a very simple rendering technique, but it has its appeal. Okay, anyway, I've already spent more time than's necessary on that. So that's that. Where's that? Here. Yeah, that's gonna be here. Last thing I want to do is give this character a fill, just a basic fill. So I'm going to turn everything else off. I'm just going to do an autofill really quick. And we'll do the same color and I'll just reduce the opacity. So that might be a bit too strong, but we'll start with that. With this small project, I just ran with it. So like the first shot, which is this shot, this pose, I just started drawing it, and it just came about very naturally. I deliberately made it improvised. It's an improv animation, you could say. Let me just do an autofill real quick. Okay, nice. That looked good from the preview, so let's just see how we're doing here. So all of that's fine. Just go in and fix the bits I find. Dang, did it perfectly for these ones. Wow. Look at that. All of that was perfectly filled in. Just had the right settings on the fill, I guess. We might encounter some conflicts with the blending modes when I turn the layers back on. I don't know. That is something I haven't thought about yet. And now that I think about it, it makes me anxious. Artifacts from this. Oops, went too far. Okay. What did I do to fill in? I just I used the fill bucket, but I highlighted all the frames, and so I applied the fill action to every frame all at the same time. So that's the secret weapon of TV Paint is repeat actions. You can repeat action anything. So for example here, like you saw me just do that fill area and I accidentally had it set to erase here, right? So it didn't do anything because I had it set to the wrong settings, right? But instead I can just set it to color and hit apply, and it will apply the same thing I just did again. So it never stops being useful. Let me check that there's not as that look. I'm gonna have to erase behind the Phoenix there. Let's put it down to like 14%. That looks pretty nice. It's quite nice, yeah. I was thinking of during this shot to have the color like change to like more of an orange base instead of having the blue base, so the color of the character literally changes as the warmth comes into their life. Do I ever get dry eyes from staring at the screen? Yeah, I don't think it's good to stare at the screen for a really long time. I've got hay fever right now. Like I've been sneezing a lot from the pollen outside, and that's the thing that's giving me dry eyes. It's the pollen driving me crazy. Like during the daytime, it was really bad. The other thing that's kind of, I don't know, it's something that I might pay for later, but my posture is pretty bad all the time. And, I've got this ergonomic chair, which is like, it's more like a stool with wheels. And, I'm not using it. I'm just on my regular computer chair. I should probably use it right now. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it out. I'm gonna use it. Even though I don't really feel like using it because it takes a bit more work, but it puts my legs in different positions, and it's supposed to be better for me. Back to draw. Oh wait, I can just fill in. this I'm finding this project so exciting because it's very pure. Like, I was just inspired to make this by seeing some random internet video online, and an hour later I was drawing it, or I was making it, and I haven't shown anyone. Obviously you guys are watching some of the process, but I haven't shown any of my friends, I haven't shown anyone, so there's no feedback, so I've no idea if people will think it's decent, but when I think of the story, I'm like, wow, that's like, I'm excited about the story. So I don't know, but that's part of the creative process. Part of the creative process is just that uncertainty of like, I wonder if anyone else will like this thing. I have no idea. I have no idea if anyone will. And I guess it's like a muscle to train. It's like training yourself to be like, well, I think it's good. I think it's worth my time. I'm gonna just go for it. You can't doubt yourself too much. If you doubt yourself too much, you fail before you've even begun. Before you even get off the starting block. My eyes just dried out right then and there because I think I forgot to blink for a while. Or maybe your question just made me conscious of my blinking, and now I'm like, maybe my eyes are getting dry. I didn't notice it before, but now you mention it, my eyes are really dry. So for the rendering stage, I'm just sweeping through now. I'm trying to do everything in batches. It's one of the major ways you can save time on something, is by doing things in batches. So all of the keyframes are drawn, all of it's in between. It was all in between, all at once, and now it's going to be rendered, and there's just going to be a big pass of the whole thing. It's all here on one clip, and I run through those processes one by one. I'm really looking forward to timing it. That's the thing that I've not done so far. So all of these keyframes, like the whole story is untimed. You can see it's all on once on the timeline. So yeah, it's like I've been holding that off. So I actually, when I press play, like it all just goes by super fast. But I can also imagine this is going to be the most tedious part as well. It's just my prediction. Oh yeah, I was fixing this frame earlier today before I left, and I'm not sure if I like it more. Obviously it's wrong as well right now, but it's not even about that. It's about whether the pose is wrong. I think I liked it more before I changed it. Come on, give me something new. Have I ever used Toon Boom? No, I don't like Toon Boom. Open Tunes, it's like Toon Boom, but it's free, and it's more rudimentary, but I mean, it is industry standard technically. I think it looks a bit clunky, like the interface looks a bit clunky to me, just from the outside. I don't use Open Tunes, but like it's more than enough for creating really good animations. I believe it's vector based, so that makes it a bit more like Toon Boom as well. I'm a raster guy myself. I do think Toon Boom is probably a very good software, but the learning curve is high, and I don't feel like it's really, I don't think it's a really cushy interface. I think it's actually quite, I don't think it's a very comfortable interface to work in. Like, the people that sing its praises are people who have gotten used to it over a long period of time. So I guess like they eventually really like it, but at first, like no one says, no, there's no one saying like, oh yeah, like on day 2 of Toon Boom I was loving it, I was enjoying it so much. That's something you won't hear very often. Oh yeah, I picked it up immediately, I picked it up straight away. I feel like with TV Paint, like you can just download some nice custom brushes that someone else has made. You try them out on things, do a bit of frame by frame. The timeline is a little bit different from Flash, so if you're coming from Flash, it might be, yeah, it took me a little while to get to grips with the timeline and stuff, but it's not as hard to learn as Toon Boom. Toon Boom, I mean, the personal thing I don't like about it is just that I feel like it's got too many tools, like too many bells and whistles, and I don't think as an artist, like a 2D animator, I don't think you should be overly reliant on bells and whistles. I have this phrase that I tell myself all the time. I try and draw my way out of a problem. If you've got a problem, solve it with drawing or erasing, but like, drawing. Solving your problems with drawing. And I don't think it encourages animators to think that way when they're in a software with loads and loads of tools. Of course, you have a completely different approach in 3D. So, like, you're not likely to see that philosophy in something like Blender. Blender is first and foremost a 3D software. It's got the 2D stuff, and it's free. It's got that going for it. So, I mean, I always go light on the criticism of free software. Like, I don't really criticize free software that much, because it's like the answer to any criticism is like, yeah, but it's free. Yeah, but it's free. Yeah, but it's free. You can just say it for anything. Okay. I gotta fix it gets really, really loose towards the end, and I do feel like it needs a little bit more defining. So, and I guess I should do this part as well. Dang. I'm not even finished, am I? Oh, why is it looping the same songs? Yeah, I mean, I don't think OpenTunes has anything that's like a silver bullet, unless I'm just misinformed. Like, I haven't heard of anything that OpenTunes had which is like a silver bullet, where it's like none of the other softwares have it, or have a version of that feature that's as good as that, to my understanding. But it's free. It's free, and it's good, apparently. But I don't have first-hand experience. I mean, everything you're hearing is really just I've looked at some of the specs, I've watched a few people work in it and give their takes, I've heard what other people say, but like, I don't have first-hand experience in it. Yeah, I'm not a software channel, really. I'm not a software guru. I'm not trying to be. There's other channels that do that kind of thing. I suggest to everyone to just pick one and commit to it for a while. And I think the thing that should prompt you to change your software is actually if you find that you're going for a different aesthetic, and that aesthetic is more achievable in this other software, right? So for me, I was working in Adobe Flash in my formative years learning animation, and Flash is a vector software, so there's not really any like pressure sensitivity linked to opacity. There's no like smudge tool, smudging things around. Like those are things you can't really do in vector. And so the aesthetic I wanted was something closer to authentic, analog animation. So that's what prompted my change to TV Paint. But I'll never understand these people who like just like for fun, like as a fun pastime, will like try a bunch of different softwares. I can't understand that. Can't wrap my head around that because it's so taxing to learn a new software. I wouldn't do it unless I was paid to do it, you know. If a studio comes along and like it's their requirement, then yeah, I'll learn it on the job. But like, you know, recently, I mean, I'll talk about music now because I'm also getting back into making music after quite a long time of not making anything. And I have the same journey in music as I do, as many artists do, and as I did as an artist. I was thinking about software. I learned Mixcraft. That's the DAW, the DAW that I learned music production in, and it's not an industry standard software. So I went onto Ableton because I know that everyone uses Ableton, and I bought it. I bought Ableton, and I started learning it, and it had some features that were like, okay, that is legitimately very cool, but I found it really unintuitive. I found it really, it didn't mesh with my creative process, and I was finding it really, like, I was like, look, I play guitar, and when I have an idea comes to me, I want to just be able to put it down ASAP. I do not want to have to like figure out, like troubleshoot software, right? And I decided that was so important. It was so important for me to be able to create when the muse was there, like immediately. That having that like spontaneity to my creative process. I decided to go back to Mixcraft. Like I'm not using Ableton. I'm using Mixcraft. So I can relate to beginner animators and amateur animators, you might call them, because I am an amateur in music production. I don't make music commercially, and I have a limited amount of time that I'm able to spend making music. So I'm in the same struggle, I'm going through those same questions and doubts and everything. So I really relate, dude. I really do. I relate big time. And I'm actually trying to apply the lessons from that I know in animation, because in animation I have more confidence. I've been around for longer. I've seen the ecosystem change and evolve, and I've come to understand it as an animator. So I try and like bring a bit of that confidence over into the music production. I'm doing the same thing for DJing as well. Like I'm getting into DJing, and it's a whole new frontier for me. It's a whole new experience. I love learning, and I'm always like challenging myself with these new things. last year, like in autumn, I took a barista course. So got a little barista certification. I learned all about coffee. You know, how like how altitude affects the growth of Arabica coffee beans. You know, and where on the equator the best coffee beans are grown. You know, and the process of drying them out and and shipping them and stuff like that. Like I was learning all of this stuff about coffee making. It was super interesting, and it's just like I'm a rookie again. All of a sudden, like I'm a rookie again because I just step across into this other field. It's exhilarating. I love it, but it's it's also like it's kind of like getting used to being the rookie and yeah, like it's humbling, it's really humbling. Do you know how to animate in 3D? I learned how to animate in 3D at university. I have a degree in animation, and part of that degree was learning 3D animation production. So I had to learn each stage of the process. I had to learn how to model. I didn't do much sculpting, but I learned how to model, rigging. Oh, didn't enjoy rigging, but I loved modeling. Doing like the paint weights for rigging, animating, of course, and rendering engines. They use different rendering engines nowadays. I think we were using Arnold back then. What are they using nowadays? Can't remember. It's not really something I keep up with. I'm not passionate about 3D. I'm passionate about 2D. I feel like I'm in my element with 2D, but I feel like I understand enough about the 3D animation process to be able to have a conversation with a 3D animator. And what I'd really like is I'd like to build out more of a network of 3D animators. I'd like to get to know more people who are like 3D animation generalists, because those can be very useful people to know. People who can do a bit of everything in 3D and produce a result that's good. They're kind of a rarity, but yeah, I'd like to get to know more of them, because realistically, if a client came to me and said we'd like something that's 3D, at this point I would say I'm not your guy for it, but I would like to have contacts so that I can keep it within I can keep that client, that can be my client, but I can outsource some of the 3D stuff to them, to my network, that would be ideal if there's because I wouldn't want to lose a commission just because the client, that there's a part of the production pipeline that involves 3D. You can see a lot of 2D animation studios, they do integrate 3D. Pretty sure that The Line integrates 3D. Golden Wolf probably does as well, you know. A lot of these studios from where I'm from, well, I'm not in London anymore, but yeah, a lot of them, like, you'll see in their portfolios, like they have 3D capabilities for sure, and there's a reason for that. It's not just because they find it fun. It's because, like, 3D is a big market, you know, especially compared to 2D. Like 3D is a significant market. It's bigger, so it opens you up. It grants you access to a larger clientele. So this is stuff I talk about in Turning Pro, my course on the business of animation. So if you're interested in the business of animation, I made a whole course that talks about a lot of things. It's like, you know, I just spill all of my knowledge on animation for what it's worth. So, let's have a look. Hello. Keira G. Hello. I feel like I'm having to really crane my neck to see this chat. I wonder if I can move this. You've been wanting to buy my course for forever now, Vedo Takeshi. What's stopping you? I'm hoping that you can get in on this spring sale while it's going, because there's it's a major discount opportunity. So yeah, let me know what I can do to help you if you're stuck at all. So yeah, I don't know if this stuff counts as flames that I'm doing, but it's like, I don't know, it's kind of particles. I'd like it to be more flamey, but whatever these brush strokes are that I'm doing now, I mean, I'm partly doing it because it's just something I can whip up that kind of, maybe it will evoke feelings of flames without having to, like, do the whole, like, you know, this kind of thing with the blob. I don't want to do those conventional flames. I'd rather just have it as, like, I think the glow does a lot of the work, you know. The glow is going to help to evoke that, because who really knows what a phoenix looks like, you know? It's a mythical creature, so hopefully no one's going to be like, that's not what a phoenix is supposed to look like. Oh, thanks, Effects Node. Yeah, I'll, if I ever need to rig a character, I won't attempt it. I will just go to you. Please, can you rig this for me, please? Begging. I'm not above begging when it comes to rigging. I will get on my knees and beg. I'd rather beg than rig. Put that on a t-shirt. Sometimes, yeah, these, I do feel like it turns a bit too quickly. I should probably put in some extra frames. Yeah. I guess I didn't really finish this in the live stream yesterday. I just put some squiggles down and was like, yeah, that's it. Vinicius Montero. You're a 3D animator and you're thinking to start animating. I'm guessing you mean 2D, right? How much drawing skills do you think is needed? A 2D animator needs to be high skilled at drawing. No. A 2D animator doesn't need to be high skilled at drawing. A 2D animator needs to draw. You need to draw. No one said anything about how good you need to be at drawing. You need to draw, right? Drawing is the process that gets the animation made. But I think that is an important distinction there. Like, who said you need to draw well? Like, there's animators who are killing it, who have like non-conventional drawing styles. Like, look at Joe Capper. Like, that guy's killing it at animation, and he's not making pretty drawings. He's making like, I mean, they're deceptively good drawings. They are actually good, but they're not what they're not what would come to your mind as like beautiful drawings, right? They're functional drawings. They've got a lot of character in them. They're kind of quirky. They're like wonky, quirky drawings. But I'm a huge fan of his. I'm a huge fan, and they're not pretty, you know. Or like, what's the guy's name? Joe Cusack, John Cusack. What's that guy's name? John Cusack's a Hollywood actor, isn't he? Wait, what's the guy's name? Cusack. Oh no, that's not it. What's that guy's name? It's like like Cusack. What's that? Damon Darren. What's that guy? Cusack Creatures. You know, this guy, hilarious. This is like really funny stuff. Joe Kappa. This guy, I'm a huge fan. Like, he just draws in the way he knows how. You know? I don't know, does he have great drawing skills? I think he's decent at drawing. It's very distinctive, the drawings, but like, he's drawing in the way he knows how, and he's killing it. These are like really good animations. These are going to be classics in the future. I just don't like this whole like threshold of like, you can't be a 2D animator unless your drawing skills are up at this level or above this level. It's nonsense. It's just procrastinating. That's what it is. Let's be honest. Anyone who says that is procrastinating on like following their dreams, pursuing 2D animation. But, I mean, I've interpreted your question like a particular way, you know, and it might not be what you're looking for. You know, animation, 2D animation is the drawings, right? So like, the drawing is the drawings, and it's the relationship between the drawings. Like, it's the relationship from one drawing to another. So those are the two elements. So it's like almost half. Is almost half of what makes your animation is the drawings. So it's important. Yeah, drawing is the important part of 2D animation, really. It's a very important part. And it depends on your style, but generally speaking, yeah, your standard of drawing will determine your standard of animation in most conventional styles, unless it's like, what was that animation which is just like a dot moving around, and it won awards, and it's just a dot moving through like abstract landscapes. What's the guy's name? What's the guy's name? Do Dr. Witt. Michael or is it Witt? I've spelled it wrong, haven't I? this guy made a film. This is an Oscar-winning animator, right? He won an Oscar, so he's like a really big deal animator in my opinion. And he made this film, which is called Small Sphere Travels Through Landscapes. The Aroma of Tea. It's really good. It's really good animation, but it's just he just moves this dot around, right? And the dot just travels around this landscape of tea. Actually, this kind of requires some intricacy. It's like doodles. You see, the dot is like you immediately like personify the dot, and you're like, oh, the dot is lost. The dot is traveling a long way, but all you're looking at is a dot. You're just seeing a dot. And it's like, oh, the dot is like curious. You know, the dot is like, you know, the dot's navigating a landscape. Anyway, this is the idea that came to mind for like how animation is whatever you want it to be, really, in a way. Like, this is not like, I don't know, this is so different from Akira, or it's so different from Jujutsu Kaisen, or whatever the hot new thing is right now, right? But this is animation. So that's clever. You see, it's clever, but it's not conforming to. It's not conforming to whatever other people are saying is animation. It's just he's just having fun with moving a dot around on the screen. And this is a guy that won an Oscar for 2D animation. So, you know, he's more of an authority than any of us. And look at him, he's just having fun with it. He's just having fun. And he's not like worrying about like, are my drawing skills up to par? Am I good enough at drawing to be a 2D animator? I mean, these are things that I tell myself as well, you know. I have ways to go when it comes to drawing and painting, you know, background painting. And I might catch myself being like, am I good enough to paint this background? I'm not a real painter. What is a real painter? Because if you ask painters if they're good at painting, they'll say, no, I'm not good at painting. I try and paint, but I'm not good at painting. I messed up last week. I tried a plein air painting and I got the values all wrong. Like, they'll say stuff like that. Like, they've all got imposter syndrome. So what are we doing here? Like, why are we so worried about it? yeah, I wanted to do a video about this, about just like it doesn't have, your drawings don't have to look amazing to be like, to have, to contribute in a major way as an animator, you know. You kind of got to work with what you've got. Like, yes, you can you can make steps to improve your drawing abilities. Of course you can. You know, it's like, I mean, I often compare it to handwriting. You know, yes, you can take handwriting classes, and you can, like, with a lot of conscious effort, you can improve your handwriting ability. But, you know, is the most precise lettering the best lettering? Or is it just one form of writing? I don't know. You know, you spend enough time in animation, you start to get bored with like conventional things a little bit, and you start realizing that that's like, the conventional stuff is kind of like the beginning of what you can learn in animation. It's not the end. It's like, it's the beginning. There's some really interesting stuff later on when you get over that initial thing of like in painting, like photorealism. Like, when you get over photorealism, that's when it gets interesting. That's when it gets like really deeply interesting. And you know, I have to dial it in a little bit when I talk about this subject, because a lot of my audience are not there yet. They're not like wanting to look at art house films. You know, they want a breakdown of Arcane. They want affirmation that Arcane is the best thing that's ever been made, or that, you know, that Demon Slayer is the best thing ever. I understand that, and it's always going to be that way, really. Like, because those are, you know, those are very popular animations, and I like them too. By the way, just so we're clear, like, I'm not trashing them. I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, everyone's gunning for that style. So everyone's gunning for that style, and I don't think any of them are really going to do better than Fortiche at that style. And Fortiche have nailed it. Like, they've completely nailed that aesthetic, that style. There's not really any room to push it further. It's at the apex of that style. Now, if you move down the road, or you turn 90 degrees and you look in that direction at this other style, there's so much more to explore. But people are not yet, they haven't gotten over it yet. You know, they still have an appetite for that style, which is fine. I mean, that's cool. It is a really cool style. Yeah, like, a lot of people have not moved on from this thing of like, in that case, it's like, you know, the novelty of 3D 2D integration is still having its impact, you know. I mean, I covered that like 8 years ago. I made a video on 3D 2D integration like 8 years ago. So for me, like imagine that. Like I made this video that says everything I wanted to say on 3D 2D integration. And 8 years later, there's still people asking me to make videos about it. You know, like it's hard for me to like maintain enthusiasm for something that like I moved on from a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, I don't run ads on these live streams anyway, so I was just like, you know, when I'm animating, I in the beginning I was listening to stock music that is like not gonna get copyrighted, but when I'm animating, I just want to listen to music, like all music, so I'm not monetizing it, so it's not doing any harm, I don't think. It would be like you being here in the room with me and like we're both listening to the radio together, you know. So I don't think it's problematic, but I mean, yeah, it does mean that I'm not making any money off of the stream. I'm not making ad money, but you know, I never made much ad money to begin with, so why should I care? I don't. It doesn't pay that much anyway, so I'm willing to take the hit for my own comfort when animating. But if you wanted to help, you could check out animatorguild.com, see the spring sale that we've got going on there, you know. That supports me, and obviously Patreon supports what I do as well. Like the people who support me on Patreon are really helping me out there, because you know that it means they put their trust in me to make things that, you know, that will hopefully be important. You know, it's giving me a vote of confidence, and that goes a long way. And it means that I don't have to, you know, I don't have to like do these super corny advertisements in the middle of videos, you know, like, come on, no one likes that. They're annoying. And everyone skips them anyway, and I have to awkwardly pretend that I use the product. Actually, sometimes, you know, I have partnered with brands before where I genuinely use the product, and I have no problem talking about them. But Patreon is great because it's, you know, the people who support me on Patreon, they're just like, okay, what you're making is good, we want you to keep doing more of it, we're gonna just make sure you're getting a little bit for every time you upload, you know. I think it's a better system. I think Patreon is a much better system than AdSense. The only problem is that there's not quite enough Patreon supporters. If there were more Patreon supporters, it would really free me up to do YouTube like more, you know. and I wouldn't have to take on as many commission projects and stuff. Because, yeah, I mean, one of the major reasons why I mean, recently it's because of my film and because of my courses, but another reason that I have to take a long time away from YouTube is because I accept commissions, right? Someone comes to me and they're like, we want to pay you to do this for us. It could be an advertisement, it could be a documentary, and we'll pay you. Now, if I was getting paid more with my Patreon, I'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna keep making YouTube videos during that. I'm gonna spend those 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever putting out YouTube videos instead, because my Patreon support does allow me to do that. Anyway, you understand this. Understand this already. Yeah. But yeah, if you have checked out the spring sale on animatingguild.com, you've made me happy. You don't even need to get a course. If it's not the right course for you, that's totally fine. I understand. But that's my main ask for people, is just to check that, because yeah, you might see something on there that you'd like, that you think is useful for you. And the main thing that I've been talking about on the YouTube videos recently with my latest upload is the Motion Lab interface. I'm still coming across people who don't understand how the interface works or why it's a bit of a game changer. The Motion Lab interface turns your life drawing sessions. If you're doing practice sessions, you're drawing poses, you're using these life drawing apps, right? It turns your life drawing sessions into animations. So you sit down, let's say for a life drawing session, you spend an hour and a half drawing poses. Imagine if those poses that you had been drawing during your life drawing session linked together to form an animated piece of motion that you could then upload onto your Instagram or your YouTube or your portfolio. You could use it in your portfolio. Imagine if you did that every time you did a life drawing session. You could do a life drawing session once a week. That's one animation clip per week. And that's what I did with Capercube, my programming friend who helped me program this interface. And that's what I've been using. And it's really cool. I really like it. And I think a lot of people would like it if they knew more about it, if they knew about it. I haven't done a great job like explaining it in the past, which I think is why it's low-key right now. But I think it's a game changer for 2D animators. Hey CJ Destroyer, good to see you. I gotta wrap it up soon. Even though I'm not finished, I tried to finish the whole animation today, and no, we didn't get close to that. Hello, newcomers. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going soon. It's getting super late here. I mean, this is a late night animating stream. But it's getting too late. I mean, I'm not pulling all-nighters with this. I like my sleep, you know. I'm principally against all-nighters. I think they're counterproductive. Don't pull all-nighters, guys. How am I feeling? I'm feeling pretty calm, pretty zen. Yeah, pretty relaxed. In my element. Moisturized, focused, flourishing. In my element. As the meme goes. It's my favorite meme. Yeah, exactly. Throw off your next day. Not worth it. I've never been very good as well at handling no sleep. Like, if I have a sleepless night, it's bad. You know, the next day I'll be grouchy. I'll just be like trying to sneak naps in wherever I can. It's not good. It's not good at all. This is the second yawn of the stream. That's not good. And do you mean all-nighters like you're pulling all-nighters like you're staying up late, but then you will sleep? You sleep like at some point you pass out, or do you mean like actual all-nighters where you just skip the sleep thing altogether? Because I never do that. I never skip the sleep altogether. Even at like sleepovers when I was a kid, you know, when you do like all-nighters, I'd always fall asleep at a certain point during one of those all-nighter like sleepover slumber parties. You're gonna drink coffee at nighttime, and you're gonna draw in the night, and you're gonna get up for work in the morning? That's hardcore. That's hardcore. Well, respect if you can do it. Respect the hustle. What's your day job? Panicky. I can't read your name because it's so far away. It's like all the way over there. I'm trying to read this stuff. It's like the text is super small on that screen. Oh no, not energy drinks. I don't like the taste of energy drinks. They taste nasty. Oh my. YouTube music, I know. Nice. I want to get into music more. I've been coming up with a lot of tunes recently on the guitar, and I've just been putting them into like my voice memo recorder on my phone. So I know that when I next sit down to and I open up the door, the Mixcraft, I will have some fresh ideas. Right, guys, I would have liked to finish this, but it's getting late and I'm gonna throw in the towel for the day. Well, actually, I don't think throwing in the towel is the right expression. Throwing in the towel means I'm like giving up. Wrong way of looking at it. I'm gonna rest so that I can come back tomorrow rejuvenated and really finish this animation. It's a week-long project. All it needs now is these last few poses and some timing. I need to add time to it because it's all just the keyframes, and maybe there's probably a few places where it actually needs in-betweens and redrawings, but I just haven't seen them, seen the places where it needs them. So, I find it really hard to start animating, but I also find it really hard to stop animating. Like right now, I have the overwhelming urge to just do one more in between. Oh, and look at that! I'm doing one more in between. Dang! I didn't manage to leave. Kind of addicted to drawing now. not great, but I think this one needs to be a little bit this way, and then let's ripple these ones to do the same. Something like that. Whatever. It's not too bad. Okay, well, this has been a massive spoiler, so if you've been watching, you know about this film quite a long time before it drops, but at least you can have satisfaction. You can be like, oh, I saw that being made, and maybe that will be fun. Alright, I'm gonna take off just like this bird. Have a good evening, guys. Thanks for joining me, really appreciate it. Check out animatingguild.com if you haven't already, and yeah, take care of yourselves. Bye.